Douglas Adams once wrote, "I may not have gone where I intended to go, but I think I have ended up where I needed to be." How might this quote describe an experience in your life? While getting my degree, I was just taking classes that interested me that also had to do a little with my major. Turns out I was getting my minor in chemistry without even realizing it. Are you me? I always tell people I did my degree ass backwards because I started in engineering, made about 5 changes to my major and ended up in chem. Chemistry always comes when you least expect it. Edit, I really don't know why this blew up. As do chemists. Just like the Spanish Inquisition. That's what I should have done. Did the exact same thing but with health and fitness. I just really enjoyed the classes, and come junior year my advisor tells me, "Well, you now officially have a health and fitness minor." Wow. I got home once and absent-mindedly threw away my socks for no reason. I just took them off and put them in the trash. When I realized what I did, I dug through the trash only to find out that both socks had holes in them. Turns out they belonged in the trash anyway. I've never found a quote that described that situation more perfectly than this one. I guess maybe you noticed the holes before, but only subconsciously remembered them. And the title of this whole post reads like a school's essay homework. Don't all socks have holes in them? How else would you get your feet in them? Topologically, new socks do not have a hole in them. As for the socks, I guess it sucks to be them. Darn you. I was a certified Ford mechanic. 2008 to 2009 happened, and no work was coming in. Got a job offer to teach auto mechanics in Iraq to the new Iraqi army. As a result, I learned I have a passion for people trying to better their life. I ended up sponsoring my Iraqi interpreter to come to the US. Since then I came back and finished my degree, and now I'm in learning design at an amazing company. My Iraqi brother is now married here in the States to an amazing wife, and they have a kid. He has a great job and is finishing his degree as well. Life can be an amazing journey. Enjoy the ride. Those last 2 lines are very, very true. Yeah. Life is a street. I'm going to drive on it all evening far. Amazing story. I'm so glad he made it over. A lot of them don't, they get screwed over. So a little over 2 years ago I dropped out of college due to financial issues. I was a shell of myself for a while after that, felt like a complete failure. I had been going to school for automation and robotics technology. I moved back in with my dad and took a job making disc blades for farm equipment. When I went to college, part of why I chose what I did was that I didn't want to do heavily manual labor. I left that to move 30 tons of steel by hand each night. I didn't really hate the job. It was nice to see the product I made in the fields all around. There were actually some blades made in that plant sitting outside my dad's garage, though they were probably made 30 years before I worked there. I took pride in my work, but I hated my life. My manager would ask me nightly when I was going back to school. He would tell me that I could do a lot better than I was. It really dug into me. I contemplated suicide a lot during that time. After working there for almost a year, massive flooding in the Midwest coupled with a trade war with China had us only able to work every other week. That wasn't working for me, so I decided to put in an application to work for a major window production company that I had interviewed for an internship with while in college. They hired me on for production. During the interview I had told them about my college experiences and that I had interviewed with the company previously for a position in another plant. I also told them I was interested in working maintenance. A couple months after starting that job, a maintenance position opened up and HR practically harassed me into applying. I ended up getting the job. It's not uncommon for people in the program I was in to end up working maintenance, so it was a major success for me. Things were definitely turning around. I started that job in January of this year. A few months later we had a new machine coming from our main plant, which is close to the college I attended. I recognized one of the guys who came to help set it up. He was in college with me. I went and talked to him and it was great to catch up. The best part was seeing that I was in the same position as someone who had completed the program. That was when I realized how far I had come from when I dropped out. I was not a failure. Despite everything, I was succeeding. The odds were not in my favor and I was pulling through. Fast forward to this last September, 2 years to the day since I dropped out, 1 week after my birthday. My job started sending me back to school, paying me to go to class. That was the day it really hit me. I was exactly where I belonged. This is what I have wanted for so long, this is my dream job. I make great money, I love the work I do, the company I work for is great to its employees. This is it, I can't put to words how lucky I am. So many people search their whole lives and never find a place where they fit in like this. This is not the first time I have typed this out, but every time it brings tears to my eyes. I don't know many people that are as happy with their lives as I am, and I just feel so lucky. I feel your luck lies in walking such a crooked path that you ended up at the door of gratitude. Millions of people graduate into their dream jobs and end up hating it. Life threw you a lifeline, it showed you other options before finally landing you back where you first were. Your life sounds like a rom-com, but instead of a prince you got the job. I feel your luck lies in walking such a crooked path that you ended up at the door of gratitude. Sometimes roads you walk are long, leave you feeling none too strong. Sometimes roads are traveled slow, lead you where you're going though. A fresh poem. Read on a fresh Christmas morning. Thank you. I think I'm in the position original post was in after dropping out ATM. I graduated just a couple weeks ago, supposed to graduate end of summer, but school didn't accept in-person internships because pandemic. However, I'm in the food and beverage industry, which needless to say is in shambles right now. I had a ton of momentum built up from my time in college, and had almost all the connections I need to work in some of the top restaurants in the world. I had backup plans in case my dream scenario didn't pan out, but it feels like instead of doors being closed, the entire building is collapsing. My only option to stay in the industry with my level of experience is to work corporate seasonal gigs, which is definitely not the life for me. Worked corporate a few times and none of them made me proud to work there, which can be miserable. Ike, things are weird. Trying to bide my time, but cynicism can't help but creep in these days. Know that this is temporary and do not be afraid to take on a job that isn't entirely related to yours. The awe and ops story is they strayed from the traditional path and, even with their mistakes and regrets, still got to where they are happy with their lives. The beauty is in the hustle. I'm sorry that you cannot get where you plan to be, but this is a good chance to stop and live in the present and make some great connections or redirect your path. Seriously, you never know where you'll end up. 6 years ago I failed out of a private college in Boston for pre-med, returned to my little town in Wisconsin dejected, and took 5 years to complete my undergraduate studies in the social sciences. I work in higher education now and am making more than my parents. I never in a million years saw myself in my position, not even when I graduated, because you don't make as much as I am with a bachelor's and barely with a master's. Life smacked and forced me into a path unknown, and I now love it and live comfortably. This may sound hokey, but let your intuition guide you. I hope the best for you. One part that stands out to me is that one of my biggest goals in life was doing better than my parents. I grew up poor, I was homeless twice as a kid. Now at the age of 22 I am making the median income for my state. I am making as much as most households with 2 incomes, and I am barely an adult. Also, the journey I took to get here would make a great movie, with highs and lows leading up to a happy ending that leaves plenty of room for growth. It's been pretty funny at times too. You have a really great attitude. Resilience like this will carry you so far, no matter the setbacks. Your story has such a feel-good quality to it. I'm really happy for how things worked out for you. Stay positive. The outcome definitely is a happy one. Life has continually improved for me, and I am confident that it will continue improving. Next step is buying a house. In the 90s I lived in Springfield, Missouri and absolutely loved it there. Never wanted to be anywhere else. My wife finished college and got a job in another state not far away. I didn't want to move there but did reluctantly. Within a couple of years, I absolutely loved it there. Made a ton of friends, had a great job, and couldn't imagine being anywhere else. Lived there 20 years and thought it would be where I'd die. Last year we moved to Connecticut, again for my wife's job, and I love it here too and can't really imagine moving back. It turns out, it's not the place I live, but who I live with that matters. My wife is my home, and where she is where I need to be. Edit. Thanks for all the awards and comments. I now understand what people mean when they write my inbox blew up. I hope you all have a great holiday season and stay safe and healthy. BRB. Need to go hug my wife. I also chose to hug this man's wife. I am the product of you hugging this fellow's wife. I've always wanted a sibling. Best Christmas present ever. Thanks, Mom and Dad. Don't thank Dad, thank Santa. This is so wholesome. I want to be a house husband too. I had planned my life's endeavor, but my life had plans for me. Just as long as we're together, I am where I'm meant to be. This was beautiful to read in the early hours of Christmas. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Joined the federal government as a student to get some money while going to school, and I probably wouldn't have gotten in otherwise. Turns out, my plan with the university changed and they added another 6 years to what I wanted to do. And my student job offered me a full-time, salaried position with benefits, a good pension, and a team I actually enjoy working with. Quit school and now I'm working with people I like, and I have the same stress levels as I had before high school. And my work makes a tangible difference in people's lives for the better. In high school, I went to a college prep Catholic school and hated it. All because my parents wanted me to go there. Junior year I decided to stop wrestling after doing it for 2.5 years, summer and spring wrestling, at this high school. Coach decided to accuse me and teammates of doing Molly, although I had never seen it and had only ever smoked weed. The school decided I wasn't a great fit and kicked me out. Ended up at a local public high school where I reconnected with a few friends from middle school. Had extremely helpful teachers and graduated. I realized I should have been at that local public high school from the start, but it instantly felt like home. I want one. Or housewife. I love working and I hate domestic chores. It's awesome us women have rights now, but I wish the crazy inflation didn't happen. It makes more sense for one to work and for the other to deal with the rest. I also choose this girl's husband. Not a house husband. I've worked from home for the same company doing analytics for 15 years and can't complain. It gets boring, and I do a lot of laundry. I've made a lifetime of bad choices between being 15 and 45. So many things I'd have gone back in time to change if I could, that is until I met my wife. Every little choice led me to her, and knowing that now, I wouldn't change a damn thing. Man, I know how you feel. I had a bad car accident in 1989 as passenger, and I know that if it hadn't happened, I would not be with my wife, or have my kids, and that everything in my life would be different. Springfield native here. You kind of miss the cashew chicken, don't lie. Also congrats on getting out, especially with your person. I miss the Mexican villa on National, I can't lie. And late night George's. The biscuits and gravy would keep you good for a day or two. Also Springfield native here. Great city. Home is where I want to be, but I guess I'm already there. I come home, she lifted up her wings. I guess that this must be the place. My ex-wife and I had our dance to this song, so it's really bittersweet for me. My alcoholism and addiction ruined that marriage, but I am in a much better place now, over 1.5 years sober, and would never have grown had I not gone through what I did. Beautiful song, though. My favorite song of all time, Did I Find You or You Find Me? There was a time, before we were born, if someone asks, this is where I'll be. This is so wholesome. Hey, Connecticut is a great state. We got pizza and clam chowder, what more could you ask for? We just moved from Ridgefield to Canada a little over a year ago for work. We miss Connecticut every single day. Don't get me wrong, Ontario is amazing, but I tell you, no one makes pizza like Frank Pepe. What a heat-warming story, userage_aholic. Reddit link. What he's not telling us is that his wife keeps moving to get away from him, and his rage, and he keeps following her. My wife is my home, and where she is where I need to be. YouTube link. Recent breakup with a woman I thought I would marry, and this making me bawl. I used to always tell her home was with her. Welcome to Connecticut. As a lifelong Connecticut resident, I finally figured out what I'm doing wrong. Well, crap. My faith and love has just been restored. Thank you for watching. If you like our videos, please like them on YouTube. And share them with your friends. Please subscribe to be the first to know about Red Rabbit Reader's new videos. We welcome your comments below. Another of our videos will begin shortly.